Oya's winds bring foundations, bring changes, bring balance. Right smack dab at the climax of the week. And the month of January ends on the week's climax. We got some other planets that are preparing to join Pluto in Aquarius. Let's talk about it. Attention, star seeds. Attention, light workers. Attention, root workers. Attention, conjure doctors. Attention, nature-based faith practitioners. Attention, spiritualists. Attention, diviners. Attention, prophets. Attention, the spiritually eclectic. Attention for those seeking the road less traveled. This is time-sensitive cosmic information, so you might want to catch this. This is time-sensitive cosmic information that you can use in your prayers, manifestations, and other spirit works. Beam up now via this video or the audio link in this video's description box to get this on-the-fly esoteric wisdom. Beaming up now. Ashe emojibatu Olodumare Bobo Egungun Ara Orun Bobo Orisha for another day to bask in the goodness of Onile's sacred earth. Every day given is very special, and here are a few details, cosmic details, pertaining to how. I'm iiiYansaje Muse, and this is your early rising or your evening settling mystic forecast. Love and light, ekule or ekaro, depending on what time of the day or night you are catching this forecast. It is 11 minutes past your 9 o'clock hour Central Standard Time. If you're catching this at 6 a.m., it's a few minutes after 6. I'm iiiYansaje Muse, the Black Madonna of the airwaves, bringing you the music, the mystics, and I ain't even gonna start on the mojo on 222.9, the Mothership. Internet radio for the road less traveled. And this has been an action-packed Mars and Pluto ruled Ogun venerated Tools Day. How have you been using the tools in your hands to build your road to your highest destiny? I hope you have. And if you haven't, take a deep breath, shift to that energy of gratitude, and take a good look around at what you already got, and you'll be surprised what might come in handy. Ashe, ashe. So we had some crossroad energy on your Tools Day. Gonna get right into it so that our 6 a.m. listeners aren't hearing too much about yesterday. So Tools Day winds down on a numerology on 3. And 3 is the number of the Divine Trinity, and in Ifa Orisha tradition, it is the number sacred to Eshu's crossroad. And everybody knows that Eshu and Ogun kick it tough. Eshu has the keys to the doors. Ogun opens the way to all roads. So make sure you choose the high roads. Do yourself a blessing, child. It is the 6th Tools Day of winter solstice and the 2nd Tools Day of Aquarius season. So shout out to the water bucket head crew. Go ahead and inspire us, shall we? Pour all that wisdom down to earth. I got love for Aquarius energy, even though it's Leo's opposite, but we'll talk about that later. Anyways, the moon tonight is waning in the 7th house of Libra. So you got 7th house on an Ogun 7 day, so that's a double 7 energy right there. And you want to use this energy to take action and balancing the imbalance in your life, especially in the areas surrounding love and divine justice. Learn how to separate your emotions and your angers for what's really and truly fair. Because we all humans. At the end of the day, we trying to get it right. So, know who to let in and give another chance. Know who to love from a distance. And know who to catch the first thing smoking to get the hell away from. That one's there too. So allow your Ori to guide, and Ori is the spirit of your consciousness. I have a book about that for those of you that would like to learn more about the practical breakdown of the spirit of the Ori. So if you've been kicking it on the mothership here on Tuesday, then you've been jamming to the Divine Fathers of Song. If you're listening at the 9 o'clock 14 p.m. hour, then stay tuned for Tuesday Nightly's vision of what love looks like, brought to you by the Divine Fathers of Song. So I'm going to take a quick break, wet my whistle, and when we get back, honey, we're going to shift and see tomorrow into today. Because when the clock strikes 12 and Ogun passes that time clock to his wife Oya, and that Mars energy and the divine masculine shifts into that divine messenger energy of Mercury and her high and his higher octave, her highness Uranus. We are at the week's climax. We need to get energetically prepared for that, especially with all these planets that are headed to join Pluto in Aquarius. I am iiiYansaje Muse, and this is your 9 p.m. or 6 a.m. Mystic Forecast on radio for the road less traveled. 222.9. The Mothership. Beam up. All right, I need to load the montage now, baby. This is what you can expect with the exotic mothers of song each and every Wednesday. Check it out. Wednesdays, Mercury, Uranus, purples, Iba Oya, Iba Nanaburu, maroons, exotic voices of the mothers. Welcome to Wednesdays on the Mothership. 222.9. Beam up. And we are back. So, just in case you're just now joining us, I'm iiiYansaje Muse, the Black Madonna of the airwaves, bringing you the music, the mystics, and the mojo on your now Mercury and Uranus ruled Wednesday rising. So, let's talk about it. January 31st, 2024, first month of 2023, according to the Gregorian calendar new year. Anyway, we'll get to that later. This month has already come to an end, and it ends on Oya's Wednesday. Uranus has chilled out on the retrograde energy. We are all planets in forward drive until Mercury retrograde in April. But that doesn't mean the planets ain't dancing around, but I'm going to get to that. We got winds, Oya, foundations, daily numerology over 4, and balance with the moon still winning in Libra. So today vibrates on winds, foundations, and balance. And what do winds represent? Winds of change, right? And things are changing fast. But don't be fooled by the social media and the TV now, because there is a universal law of duality. And the universal law of duality states that there is just as much positive as there is in the world as negative. It's just not as propagandized. So keep that in mind. It's the 6th Wednesday of winter solstice and the 2nd of Aquarius season. The moon is waning in Libra, so you got some Venus love energy on those winds, foundations, and balance. And I just want to say something about love. God is love. And when love becomes universal, it's the strongest force powerful. It's possible, I mean. And that's why true divine love is so attacked. And I'm speaking a lot on that love energy because of the moon energy and because of the moon waning in Libra energy. And Libra is ruled by Venus, and Venus is what? The essence of planetary love. So use these cardinal winds, Libra, that's an air sign on the moon there. Let that energy swirl around your being like Oya's whirlwind and brisk away all those things that are keeping you from real and true love. Balance out that desire for karmic justice with compassion and understanding, because you only know everything you know because somebody was patient with you. I'm going to let you marinate on that for a second. I'm going to take a quick break, and when I come back, we're going to talk more about what's going on in the quasars, especially with all these planets that are headed to join Pluto in Aquarius. I'm iiiYansaje Muse, and this is your nightly forecast on Radio for the Road Less Traveled, 222.9, the Mothership. Beam up. Before sight. Before sight of shells, there were stanzas, stanzas of my soliloquies. Before sight of wisdom, before sight of worship, there was only my written word, Afoshe. Before sight of divination, before sight of Dafa, there were diaries, diaries in dozens. Before sight of revelation, before sight of reason, there were only my rhapsodomancies of rhyme, rearranged to rhythms of my lipstick-kissed alchemy, alchemies of my depths, my valleys, my mountains, my visions, my empathies, my testimonies, my joys, my sorrows, my love. Before sight of awakening, before sight of airwaves, before sight of anointing, there were archives of my allegories. Before sight of clarity, before sight of conversion and clergy call, there were collections of my ink prints. Before sight of prophecy, before sight of priestesshood, there was poetry, poetries that bear my fruit. There was me. And we are back. So, in case you're just now joining us, I am iiiYansaje Muse, the Black Madonna of the airwaves, bringing you the music, the mystics, the mojo on 222.9, the Mothership. Internet radio for the road less traveled. So before we get into all the other planetary talk, let's talk about Hallelujah. 2 or 3 days ago on the 28th, Uranus came out of retrograde. So now we have a very, very clearer sense, those of us that stayed aligned with that, on what it is that you need to do to deeper solidify your spiritual beliefs. Because Uranus retrogrades come to shake us up from the core, challenge what we believe in, make us put our actions where our faith is. And those of us that align with that, then you have a clearer perspective. Aquarians, you are free. Your planet is back in forward drive, and we are retrograde free until April. But that doesn't mean that the planets ain't dancing. So we had Pluto go into Aquarius right after a full moon in Leo, or before a full moon in Leo. Sorry about that. And, I'm one of the cat people, so that one kind of hit me, you know what I mean? And with Pluto going into Aquarius. That means that a lot of transformation, and that's Oya's middle name, is going to be taking place. So when you feel that inner shift within, don't fight the power, baby. Don't fight the power. Because we are headed into the Aquarian age, and planet Pluto is the higher octave of Mars, and Mars is the planet of action, forward drive, initiative. So when you're doing that from the inside, you can't help but take on the visionary, futuristic essence of the upcoming Aquarian age. So go ahead on and give up the goods, other 11 zodiac houses. Haterade is not alkaline. So make sure that you show all the House 11 residents, all the Aquarians in your life, all that love and thanks just for their being, because they're there to challenge your futuristic humanitarian self. If you need to know more about the Aquarian energy that's in you, well, the Black Madonna of the Mothership is not just a 20-year radio connoisseur. I'm also a very seasoned astrologist. So you can book an astrology reading that is just specific to Aquarius season. I'll be talking more about that on my Wednesdaily page, the Malbec Planetarium, on Facebook, where you can just learn about more how to connect with your Aquarian energy. Because everybody's Aquarian energy is in a different place in their natal chart. Connect with that during its season, and you'll learn a whole lot more about you in all 12 seasons. Ashe. Ashe. Speaking of, today is the last day of Aquarius season's first decan. So as we shift into the 31st, Wednesday is the first day of the second decan of Aquarius season. So those of you Aquarian babies that were born between January 31st and February 8th, you have Gemini. Lord Jesus, you got Mercury, Saturn, and Uranus dancing on your cranium. Anywho, in the Kemetic way of the stars, we are in the season of Newt. That's the last day. And we are still in the season of the baobab tree until February 3rd, according to the 12 figures of African spirituality, and which, by the way, those astrology systems far predate the Western astrology, but we're going to talk more about that in my exclusive orbit. Yes, I do have an exclusive orbit, and if you want to know more about that, well, you'll just have to sign the email list. So let's talk about all these planets that are going to the Aquarian house to party. We got Mercury, who's not going to be retrograding again until April, headed into Aquarius on February 5th. Now, Mercury is the planet of communication. That's the SU energy that's going into Aquarius. So expect things to really cosmically heat up on February 5th, because that's when Mercury will be joining Pluto in the party at House 11. So we got the planet Mars, forward action and drive, headed in on February 13th. That's the day before Valentine's Day. And we got to talk about Valentine's Day, y'all, because red is the root chakra color, okay? Red is the color of passion. So Valentine's Day ain't got nothing to do with love. That's why Cupid shoots you in your ass, not your heart. But we're going to talk about that later too. Anywho, Venus is headed back into Aquarius's house to party also on February 16th. So Aquarius energy this year is really about to turn up. So Pluto is in there for right now, but you got 3 other planets headed into Aquarius 2 whole months before any one of them will retrograde again. Let's just say it's about divine time to get your house in order, because the Aquarian age is shifting. It's happening right now. This is not televised. This is live. Okay? All right. So if you were born on January 31st, then happy solar return. May Olodumare, the Orishas, the Egungun, and every other spiritual being in your prospective walk of faith bless you with many, many more, filled with Bobo Ire. And what does Bobo Ire mean? Many blessings. But that still doesn't mean I'm not going to zodiac dry snitch a little bit. So, if you were born on January 31st, you are ambitious, but you can be easily discouraged, not good. You give up too easily where you might accomplish many things. You are kind, you're just, you're generous, and you have an artistic temperament. Cultivate perseverance and confidence in your ability. You are fond of children. All right, you January 31st babies. Maybe that's something you could go to Shango for. Yeah, Shango brings in that courage and definitely does not mind putting a fire under your ass. I am iiiYansaje Muse, the Black Madonna of the airwaves, and you are listening to your 6 p.m. or 9 a.m. No, 9 p.m. or 6 a.m. Mystic Forecast on Radio for the Road Less Traveled 222.9, the Mothership. When I come back, we are going to get to your nightly single card tarot draw from the Mayan Oracle. Beam up. A question on the heart is the spirit's thirst for clarity. Readings, consultations, I call them intuitive counseling sessions, but you know what I mean. They're kind of like gumbo or peach cobbler. You may have tried many, but you haven't had mine. I can say I met the divine when I was about 9. Ever since I was 16, I found myself wondering, do I have an invisible "please come tell me your business" sign taped to my forehead? Then one day I was sitting at the bus stop at a crossroad, and I had the audacity to ask the goddess, why was I even sent to earth? And I became an ethereal, intuitive counselor. And the universe has been answering that question over and over again, one phone call at a time, for the last 9 years. From there, in between sessions, I began to relentlessly apply, align, and study the ways of the stars and of the ancients. 3 years in, Orisha priestesshood to Oya came knocking. Hence the Iya in the name iiiYansaje, iiiYansa, an Oya praise name. Oya is the Orisha who brings radical transformation and change. Make no mistake about it now, baby. I am no soothsayer. I am no fortune teller. I'm not a private investigator. I don't cast love spells. I'm not an emotional punching bag. I'm not a spiritual trash dump. I am not a haven for jinn spirits. I give guidance with clarity, with wisdom, with love, with truth. I unlock keys to your spiritual growth and your highest destiny according to your unique design. Ready for some evolutionary change? Let's talk. And we're back. So, in case you're just now joining us, I'm iiiYansaje Muse, the Black Madonna of the airwaves, bringing you the music, the mystics, the mojo, and now your nightly tarot reading from the Mayan Oracle Tarot deck. And we got numbers 5, 3, and 12. So the first card that showed up was card number 5, and that's center. And this can mean a lot of things when there's a lot of whirlwinds going on. And of course, those of you that don't know, Wednesdays, this tarot draw was done on a Wednesday, an Orisha tradition that is sacred to the Orisha Oya in many lineages. And Oya is simply the energy that represents changes and transformations, especially the ones from deep within. So the spirits are calling you to center, Center yourself on your deepest values. And this speaks a lot also around wealth, as Oya is the mother of the marketplace. And what this is saying is center yourself on what you would be doing if money didn't exist. Because it doesn't. It's an energy. And as we shift into this higher age, this higher frequencies of understanding abundance, center on the things that hold high value to you. I would recommend meditating with the ancestors for those of you that practice. I would recommend revisiting childhood memories of triumph, things that made you happy when you were younger. What are the things that you will never compromise on? What are your true values? Write those things down and center right where you are. No matter what your situation is, center. Center on what is divinely important to you. Because worrying about too many external things inverts your rhythm. As the rhythm card shows up inverted, that means that it's time for you to just surrender to the dance. When the rhythm card shows up inverted, somebody then got too stoic, too stark, too hut, too 3-2, too militant, too dependent on your own ambitions to where you may not be allowing the spirit world to really get in there and bob and weave. And they get it, we get it. Faith would not be faith if it were always easy to have. But when you step out on faith, not once, not twice, but every single step you take, you learn to align with your own divine rhythm. So what is it that's throwing your natural rhythm off? And dance through that as you would any storm. And why do I say this speaks a lot to finances? Because when I flip the deck, we got card 12, complex stability. Now, with the stability being complex, what this means is that your way of manifesting abundance and the way that you live according to your higher purpose are one and the same. So I may be talking to some star seeds out there, or some people who just aren't designed to work traditional jobs. Maybe the spirit world has something higher for you and is purposely pinching your pocket until you step out on it. It happens. So with your stability being complex, I would say the less you worry about manifesting it and more about being in the energy, in the flow, in the moment, and what you're already building with your stability. And centering, spiritually centering first, getting your rhythm back, your stability very well may take good care of itself. So there's my message for you tonight for the collective. If you would like a personal reading, then by all means, visit the lovely Oya care package that I put in this video's description box. Those of you that are listening over the Mothership's airwaves, then visit me at pinsite.com/x/iiYansa's Orbit 2229. Or just visit the Facebook page. The links are everywhere. I'm iiiYansaje Muse, and this is your 9 p.m. or 6 a.m. Mystic Forecast on Radio for the Road Less Traveled 222.9. The Mothership. Beam up. All this spiritual stuff, you need somebody to just make it plain. Are you trying to divinely align? Are you a starseed? Are you too busy building the kingdom, building the queendom to come for all the madness going on in the world today? Methods of emotional healing. Are you taking your first steps down your spiritual path? Want a more practical understanding of the Orisha? Do animals seem to communicate with you? Do you need to sort out some things about love? Do you see numbers? Spiritual signs? Need somebody to just make it plain? Does your love for esoteric wisdom coin you a student of life? Do you like wisdom in poetic bars? Are you ready to debunk the spookism behind ancestor veneration? Want to learn how to make medicine? Want to learn about different tools of divination? Tantric spiritual sex secrets? Ways to utilize each and every moon? Do you walk the road less traveled? Are you considered strange by society? Are you discovering your spiritual gifts? Do you want to taste the power of words through incantation? Do you want to get into some unorthodox Bible teachings? Do you dream often? Do you long to explore the secrets of the earth's endless mysteries? Do you study the stars? Do you need tips on building good character? Do you want to know more about how to interpret dreams? Do you love some good literature? Need somebody to just make it plain? Then indulge in the art. Indulge in the art. And indulge in the art. Indulge in the art. And indulge in the art. Indulge in the art. The art of spirituality in iiiYansaje Muse's Orbit. iiiYansaje Muse's Orbit is a monthly subscription service that features free and exclusive content dedicated to your versatile, well-rounded, deeper understanding of spirituality. It comes from all angles, teaches all kinds of lessons, and it cooks like a gumbo, a whole bunch of different spiritual ingredients and one spiritually flavorful soup. And let that soup feed your soul and enhance your highest spiritual life. It even features an opportunity to have a one-on-one counseling session with yours truly. So don't get left behind. Get beamed up to the orbit. All proceeds go to 222.9 The Mothership, Mystic Internet Radio. Sign up for the 222.9 The Mothership Internet Radio email list to stay in the exclusive loop of what's going on in the orbit. Ashe. In iiiYansaje Muse's Orbit. High-level spiritual wisdom. Fully flavored with no holds barred. And we are back. Thank you for joining me for this forecast. I hope you gained some things that helped you spiritually align with what's going on with the times so you can be aligned with your inner universe and outer universe. Remember that 222.9 The Mothership is a listener-supported station. So if you are enjoying the music, the mystics, the mojo, then by all means, become a supporting member. Throw a drop in the bucket. If you would like to make a donation, the link is in the description box. And I've got the Mothership Mystic Boutique coming out very, very soon. I can't wait. So make sure that you sign the email list so that you can be kept abreast on everything that's going on in the Mothership's groovy orbit and everything that's going on in the exclusive one. But before we go, I got to keep my promise, and a promise is a promise. And I said Kwanzaa last year, one of the core missions of 222.9 The Mothership Internet Radio is keeping the 7 Kwanzaa principles of Nguzo Saba year-round. I like Kwanzaa. So I'm going to share an excerpt with you out of my book, Kwanzaa in Orbit, Kwanzaa Beamed Up. That's available on Amazon. The audio and ebook is available on my Pinsite link. So since in Kwanzaa 2023, Kujichagulia came on a Wednesday, we'll be revisiting Kujichagulia on Wednesdays throughout 2024. So this one is for the starseeds, the earth angels, the prophets, the seers, the dreamers, the eccentric, the spiritually gifted, the black sheep, the ones society calls crazy. You are brave souls who are walking representations of Kujichagulia in action. It takes a lot of courage to live every day and the true definitions of yourselves amidst the massive contrast that's around you. The Kujichagulia principle helps with the self-work of self-acceptance. And if striving to live in honor over normalizing dysfunction made something off about me, then fine. Defining self for self is very key in spiritual ascension. And if making the most of one's spiritual gifts, living and loving the goddess out loud makes me or you quote unquote special, then special we are. Thank you for joining me and allowing me to share this thought with you. If you are listening at the 9 o'clock hour, then stay tuned for your 10 o'clock Tuesday nightly vision of what love looks like, brought to you by the Divine Fathers of Song. And whew, it's nothing like when a divine man sang to you. I'm going to let the OJs tell you about it, but keep on loving me. Y'all don't know about them throwbacks, honey. If you're listening at 6 a.m., then stay tuned for the Rising Bembeta Ogun. Oh, Oya, sorry. Stay tuned for the Rising Bembeta Oya before we shift the energy back into the divine feminine, mother's exotic style of song. Either way, remember that the sky is big enough for us all to be stars. And in the words of George Clinton, free your mind. Your ass will follow. This is 222.9 The Mothership, internet radio for the road less traveled. Bima. Every day is special. Why not find out mystically how? This is the forecast on your Mystic Music Haven on the airwaves, 222.9 The Mothership. Beam up. Can I just end it?